When Jimmy Donaldson was a teenager, his world looked very different from the one you see today. No millions of subscribers. No brand deals. No giant giveaways. Just a quiet kid, sitting in a small room in North Carolina, staring at a computer screen. While others were hanging out, playing games, or worrying about school, Jimmy was watching YouTube videos for hours. Writing notes, studying patterns, asking himself one question: what actually makes a video blow up? At the time, nobody knew his name. Nobody believed he would ever stand out. But in that silence, with nothing but curiosity and determination, he started building something most people couldn't see. That's where the story of MrBeast truly begins. The moment a teenager decided to think differently. Jimmy Donaldson, better known as MrBeast, didn't grow up with riches or connections. He wasn't the loudest kid in class or the most confident. In fact, he was soft-spoken, reserved, and often kept to himself. Born in 1998 in Greenville, North Carolina, his childhood looked a lot like anyone else's: school during the day, video games at night. But while most kids were busy fitting in, Jimmy found himself drawn to something different. He started uploading videos to YouTube at just 13 years old, using a simple username, no fancy camera, no polished editing. His first uploads barely got any views, and to most people it looked like wasted effort. But Jimmy wasn't chasing quick success. He was curious. Curious about why some creators captured millions of clicks while others struggled to be seen. The truth is, there was nothing special about him at the start. No big production team. No hidden advantage. Just a teenager who felt like an outsider, trying to figure out if his passion for YouTube could ever mean something. And maybe that's what makes his story matter, because it shows us that greatness doesn't always come from talent or luck. Sometimes, it comes from the willingness to keep going when you have every reason to stop. For years, Jimmy poured his time and energy into YouTube with almost nothing to show for it. He uploaded hundreds of videos, gaming clips, random ideas, experiments, yet most barely reached double-digit views. Imagine spending days editing, uploading, hoping this would be the one, only to refresh the page and see 10 views, maybe 15. And most of those came from friends or family. The truth is, people laughed at him. Teachers reminded him to focus on something real. Even those closest to him questioned if this obsession was healthy. He wasn't making money. He wasn't building a career. From the outside, it looked like failure stacked on failure. And deep down, he felt that weight too. There were times when Jimmy thought about quitting. Nights when he lay awake wondering if everyone else was right. Maybe YouTube was just a childish dream. His health even took a hit. He battled Crohn's disease, a condition that left him drained, weak, and often in pain. While most people would use that as a reason to slow down, Jimmy refused. He would drag himself back to his desk, turn on his computer, and keep studying videos for hours. But the hardest part wasn't the illness or the lack of views. It was the silence. Years of posting without recognition. Years of giving everything, yet receiving nothing in return. That's the kind of struggle that breaks most people. But for Jimmy, it did something else. It forged a resilience that would one day make him unstoppable. At some point, most people would have quit. After years of effort with no recognition, the easiest choice would have been to walk away. But Jimmy made a different choice. He decided that if he couldn't control the views, he would control what he learned. He turned YouTube into his classroom and himself into the student who never stopped taking notes. While others wasted time, Jimmy spent endless hours studying every detail: titles, thumbnails, video length, retention rates. He would gather with a small group of friends online, sometimes for 10 to 12 hours straight, analyzing what worked and what didn't. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't exciting. But it was discipline in its purest form. The shift was simple yet powerful. Instead of chasing quick wins, Jimmy committed to mastery. He believed that if he obsessed long enough, he would eventually crack the code. And that belief gave him the fuel to keep going through the failures, through the doubt, and through the loneliness. It wasn't just about making videos anymore. It was about becoming unstoppable. While others saw YouTube as a hobby, Jimmy treated it like oxygen. Every setback became feedback. Every failure became data. And slowly, piece by piece, the picture started to form. This was the mindset that changed everything: the refusal to stop, the hunger to learn, and the belief that obsession, paired with patience, could turn an ordinary kid into the world's biggest creator. For years, it felt like Jimmy's work was going unnoticed. But slowly, the tide began to turn. The same videos that once struggled to cross 100 views were now climbing into the thousands. Then, the tens of thousands. And eventually, millions. It didn't happen overnight. His growth came from countless small adjustments stacked on top of each other. A better thumbnail here. A stronger hook there. Longer watch times, smarter titles, bigger ideas. Every lesson he had studied in those long nights began to pay off. And when one video finally broke through, counting to 100,000 in a single sitting, it showed the world the lengths Jimmy was willing to go. That stunt was more than entertainment. It was proof. Proof that dedication could create something unforgettable. People who once laughed at his obsession now couldn't look away. Audiences saw a creator who wasn't just making content, but sacrificing comfort, time, and even health to deliver something they had never seen before. From there, the momentum exploded. Challenges grew larger. Ideas became more ambitious. Giving away money, cars, even houses, Jimmy flipped the script on what YouTube could be. His channel transformed from a struggling hobby into the fastest-growing empire on the platform. The kid who once begged for views was now commanding billions of them. The same voice that was ignored in the beginning became the loudest on the internet. But underneath all the spectacle, nothing had changed. He was still the same obsessed learner, still pushing himself, still chasing improvement. The difference now was simple. The world had finally caught up to what Jimmy had believed all along, that with the right mindset, even the impossible can become reality. MrBeast's story reminds us of a simple truth: success is never the starting point. It's the byproduct of hard work, discipline, and persistence. He didn't wait for luck, and he didn't wait for approval. He worked when no one cared, he studied when no one noticed, and he pushed forward when quitting would have been easier. And that's your reminder. Your dream won't come gift-wrapped. It will come from effort stacked day after day. So don't give up, don't slow down, and don't let silence fool you into thinking you're not growing. Because success is not something you find. Success is what you build. And just like MrBeast, if you put in the work, you can become unstoppable too.